Spring is here. The temperature is rising. You're going to lose an hour of sleep tonight. Don't forget about that. So you might as well make it worthwhile and have some fun. Everyone, my name is Ravi Bajwal. I'm an anchor and reporter with ABC News right across the street here in Chicago, and I'm thrilled to be your master of ceremonies and your host for the 2015 second annual Red Sari evening. You have done your part by looking great, so give yourselves a hand. And take as many selfies as you can with all of you and your friends. And what I want you to do is post those photos, okay? We're gonna do something here in terms of social media. Tonight we're gonna post our photos from this event on the South Asian Cardiovascular Center Facebook page. And while you're there, you can enter into an amazing contest there for the Red Sari event, and all kinds of prizes, including a dinner for 15 by one of Chicago's finest South Asian restaurants prepared in your home. A heart-healthy dinner, apparently, as well, because that's what this organization and that's what this effort's all about, is actually to bring the best of our South Asian culture and food and way of living and try to make it a little bit more heart-healthy. So thank you all for coming, and I would ask for your attention because we want to get through a wonderful program with some very important people that you're going to want to hear from, certainly more than me. But we are presented tonight by the American Heart Association, and we have the support of Chicago Sister Cities International, the Delhi Council, all part of this. And before we begin the formal program, let's have a round of applause for the wonderful orchestral sounds that we heard earlier. And V Chili Entertainment for the Festive Traditional Bazaar. How do you like that in Macy's? So V Chili, thanks very much. Now, who in here has been either directly affected or knows someone in their family or even in their close circle of friends that has been affected by heart disease? There you go. That's why we're here tonight. And it's obviously a very important issue for society in general. I believe, you know, heart disease is America's still #1 killer, but in our community, in the South Asian community, so if your background is from India or Bangladesh or Pakistan and so on and so forth, it is, frankly, it's a scourge. It's an epidemic. It is crazy. It's affected my family very deeply, and those of you who were here last year know the story that I'm about to tell you right now very quickly. My father had his first heart attack when he was 44 years old, and this was back in 1979. And the awareness around South Asian heart disease and heart disease in general was just not there. And all of a sudden he came home. This was a robust, swashbuckling kind of a guy who was an immigrant, who was fearless. And he just came home from work one day and he just didn't feel very well. And he had a cup of tea and he went to lie down. And he never did that after work. Next thing you know, my mom realized something was wrong. Off to the hospital he went. He had a heart attack at work and basically walked home. And that led him on a long journey of recovery and rehabilitation. He was one of the first patients to be prescribed cardiovascular exercise as rehabilitation, because up until that point it was all about, oh, you've had a heart attack, put your feet up, just rest, don't get stressed, and that somehow you can avoid a second one. So he lived another 25 years. He became a jogger, and he quit smoking. He still was stressed like a typical immigrant man from India typically is, and then he died of heart disease and some lung-related issues 10 years ago, actually. So he essentially got a second chance. But the reason why it affected us obviously so deeply, and I'm sure it's the same for you, is because it happened when he was so young, and we were so young. And I remember coming home that night and thinking, because I had a hockey practice that night, and I came home thinking, like, how are we going to get along here without him? And we really came up against the precipice of looking at this abyss of life without your own father. And we were lucky, and he was saved, and he lived a good life, but it was still something that we lived with for the rest of our lives. So as we live with this, with the rest of our lives here now, a generation later, there's so much more education, there's so much more knowledge, and there's so much more about preventative things that we can all do, that we can advocate for in terms of public health, that are going to prevent other young kids from having to see and go through what I went through. Not only did he eventually succumb to heart disease, his brother, a heart surgeon, succumbed to heart disease. Their elder brother actually lived a fairly long life, but he in the end had a heart attack and died. And apparently there was a fourth brother. There was the eldest brother, way back in India, way back in the mists of time, who apparently had a swimming accident. He dove off the diving board, went down to the bottom of the pool, never came back up. And he didn't break his neck. He had had a heart attack 70, 80 years ago. So it's deep. It runs in the family. And if you know what's ahead of you, at least you can do something about it. So that is why I care about this. This is why I care about Dr. Sitafawala and what he is doing. You're going to hear from him a little bit later. It's groundbreaking stuff, and I'm so glad you're all here. So thank you very, very much for your support and participation. As I said, South Asians have a 3 to 5 times greater risk of having heart disease compared to others. Nearly 1/3 of cardiac-related deaths occur under the age of 65 in this community. And while South Asians are only about 20% of the world's population, we have 60% of the heart disease burden in the world. So that's just nuts. This is totally crazy, and that has to change. And so the South Asian Cardiovascular Center is doing a lot of stuff to change that. Their keystone initiatives in terms of community outreach, advanced clinical care, and probably most importantly, the research. It's incredible stuff. And by your support tonight, buying tickets to this event, talking about it with your friends, we're really moving the yardsticks here in terms of knowledge that can help other families not have to deal with again, the scourge of this disease. So right now, let's take a few seconds and look back at some of the people who are behind the statistics I mentioned. Go ahead.
Country over 30 years ago for a better life.
But with the busy schedules, we forgot to put our health first.
I needed bypass surgery at 51.
I had mine at 49. Since then, we are exercising and eating better.
Now we are putting our health first, and you should too. Get screened early for heart disease.
Some of the great commercials. Have you seen these commercials playing on Chicago television? Aren't they great? They're really getting out there. And during the next few minutes, we're going to have an opportunity to hear from some of this great lineup of speakers that I promised you. They're going to put the concept of South Asian heart disease in perspective and talk about the solutions that they're working on at Advocate Lutheran General Hospital and the SACC to try to deal with this problem. We're going to close our evening also with a heartwarming story of a young lady whose survival instincts and her quick thinking really made for an awesome story. We ended up doing it on ABC television. It's one of my favorite stories of the year, and you're going to be hearing about her. Her name is Krishna. She's sitting up here right now, and she's a star, and so is her grandfather's right there as well. So nice to see you guys as well. So before we introduce our first speaker, let's take a few seconds to recognize some of the diplomatic corps, apparently, that is here, and some of our VIPs and elected officials. Dr. Asaf Saeed, the Consul General of India, and his wife, Mrs. Farha Saeed, are here. Thank you very much for your support. Illinois State Representative Marty Moylan and his wife Lynn also with us tonight. Mr. Nimish Jani, who is a Schaumburg Township trustee, also here with us. And the new governor has a representative here as well, Ashley Callis, who is a coalitions coordinator in the office of Governor Bruce Rauner. And finally, Aurora Austriaco is a board member of the Asian American Civil Coalition and the past president of the Chicago Bar Association. Aurora is with us as well. So thank you all for spending your busy Saturday night with us. So our first speaker is Barb Weber. It's Weber? Barb Weber. Thank you. I see this name all the time and never know what to say. Barb Weber is here, and she's a Chief Operating Officer of Advocate Lutheran General Hospital. She earned her bachelor's in nursing from Loyola University and went on to pursue a master's in nursing, human resources, and business administration. She joined Lutheran General Hospital in 2000. Prior to becoming the COO, she served as the Chief Nursing Executive. Please welcome Barb to the stage. Barb?
Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining us at the second annual Red Sari evening. This is a wonderful, actually, everyone looks so lovely out there. It's actually quite stunning. But what I wanted to share with you is that first, thank you on behalf of the leadership of Advocate Lutheran General Hospital, Advocate Medical Group, as well as the South Asian Cardiovascular Center. Now, I remember about 3 years ago when Dr. Satifawala, sorry, I have a cold, so it's making it a little bit harder, joined us at our executive management team. How many folks feel that Shoaib has a lot of energy? Yeah? Okay. And I remember we were at the executive team meeting, and Shoaib presented his vision with such passion and such energy. It was overwhelming. But what was actually more concerning was the statistics that he shared related to the South Asian culture and heart disease. So that actually was a catalyst for us to support Shoaib and the team to really put together a program to move his vision forward, providing an opportunity to have the resources, the education, to really look at the risk factors when it comes to the South Asian culture and make sure that we are there to support the initiative. So Shoaib and his team, they do wonderful work. They're actually critical to our Advocate Cardiovascular Institute, which is at Lutheran General Hospital, as well as they're critical to the community for the fact they continue to offer opportunities for education, awareness, so that we truly understand the risk factors in the community and we can help. And what's interesting is that what Shoaib shared with us regarding statistics, we continue to see the trends in our emergency department. That's why it's so important to actually have events like tonight to increase awareness, as well as have support on the mission that Shoaib had started. So I want to give a round of applause for Shoaib for bringing this forward. Wonderful individual, an innovator, and very talented. So we're going to see great things from the South Asian Cardiovascular Center. Thank you.
Still needed a pronouncer for that name as well. Sitafalwala, Nobel Prize. Think of that later on. I should also tell you that, just as a little aside, Shoaib insisted that I come and be a patient there. So I know what it's like to be a patient there. I didn't have a heart attack. After he told me some of my results, I nearly had a heart attack. and it really is an amazing place. So your support of what he is doing is, it's very timely and it's very personal. So thank you. And Barb, thank you for your comments tonight. Now this South Asian Cardiovascular Center would also like to take this opportunity to again recognize some of our key sponsors, and I did mention the Chicago Sister Cities International Delhi Committee, which is chaired by Smita Shah, and the Advocate Lutheran General Hospital Men and Women's Association, a key sponsor, and LSL Industries, and the Luthra family, as well as Healthy TXT, led by the CEO, Dr. Vishal Mehta, all important sponsors of the center, so thank you very much. Yes, let's have a round of applause. So a key collaborator, and I think one of the big steps that we had last year at the first Red Sari event, was to have this formalization of a relationship with the American Heart Association. And so now a year has gone by, and we're going to be hearing from the American Heart Association, specifically one Brian Shields, who is talking about energy. He's the executive director of the Metro Chicago office for the American Heart Association, and he joined that group back in 2006 as the youth market director, and then he was promoted to vice president of downstate Illinois markets in 2009, and then he became VP of all the Illinois markets in 2012. And so while he's working on the youth marketing team, the youth market team, he championed many new initiatives, including Kids with Heart, which is a program that recognizes childhood heart disease survivors and connects them to speaking opportunities all throughout the states, throughout the Midwest states at least. Mr. Shields is also the recipient of the American Heart Association's prestigious Rome Betts Award. Please welcome Brian Shields.
Well, thank you. It is an honor to be here, and last year was incredible, and I think, Shoaib, you guys have outdone yourself this year. This is incredible, and yes, absolutely. We wrapped up last year, and a couple weeks later, I got a phone call from Shoaib, and he said, there was really just plans for one Red Sari event, but I think we need to do another one. And I said, I agree. I think we need to keep this going. And so I'm so thrilled that we're here again for Red Sari 2015. It's an incredible event. And some of us were actually here in this room just about a week ago for another event, the Go Red for Women campaign, a campaign that started about 11 years ago, and I see some real similarities, and I want to share just a couple thoughts on that. You know, the Go Red for Women campaign started because we recognized that heart disease wasn't just a man's disease, but it was sort of presented as that, and there wasn't quite the awareness or the understanding. Last week when we were here, it was really a sort of a celebration of all that we've accomplished. In the last 11 years, we've seen the deaths from cardiovascular disease among women drop starkly, and we've seen awareness rise in a big way. And that's why the American Heart Association is partnering with the South Asian Cardiovascular Center. That's why we're partnering with Advocate Healthcare, because we see that same opportunity, and coming to Red Sari last year and now being here again this year is a true testament to that. We see the opportunity, like we've seen with Go Red for Women, to really raise awareness, and ultimately, when we look back a decade from now, recognize that we've had a tremendous impact on the health of South Asians, not just in Chicago, but nationwide. And that's why the Heart Association is here, and that's why we want to continue to be a great partner to this important cause. So it's been an honor to work with all of you, and on behalf of all at the American Heart Association, I just want to say thank you for the support and the partnership, and let's continue to do great things. Thanks.
Our next speaker is going to give us a perspective on the partnerships that you've been hearing about and the innovations that are part of these partnerships that the SACC is trying to introduce through the entire Chicago region. And so we're going to hear from Dr. Jay Butt, who serves as the Managing Deputy Commissioner and Chief Innovation Officer for the Chicago Department of Public Health, which is a huge title for a huge department and a very important one indeed. He's a former national president of the American Medical Student Association. He earned his medical degree from the Philadelphia School of Osteopathic Medicine, and he also pursued and earned a master's in public health and a master's in public administration. So please welcome Dr. Jay Butt.
Good evening. You all can do better than that. We got South Asians in the house. Good evening. All right. Thank you, Ravi. We appreciate your commitment to the cause. Thank you, Consul General. Thank you to the esteemed elected officials and colleagues that are here today. Thank you to the American Heart Association, and thank you to Advocate and the South Asian Cardiovascular Center, for which, you know, this partnership would not be possible. And really all of you for being here to take a Saturday night to learn about the epidemic and raise awareness and be involved. Because we clearly can't do this alone. We need all parts of our community, all sectors to come together. And thank you, Shoaib, for your leadership on improving the health of Chicagoans. I've, you know, not only have a partner in this work, but a dear friend. And as much as his wife might not appreciate us spending weekends together trying to take care of samples, it's part of the work. Mayor Emanuel and our acting commissioner, Dr. Morita, send their regards and congratulations to this effort, and appreciate it, the engagement of the community. My role really is to make Chicago the healthiest city in the nation, and work together with our partners to do that. And we work daily to make this goal a reality through a number of initiatives. In 2011, Mayor Emanuel launched Healthy Chicago, the city's most comprehensive agenda for public health in its history. 200 actionable strategies across 12 priorities that are changing policy, systems, and environments to make Chicagoans healthier. And late last year, with dozens of partners, including South Asian Cardiovascular Center and the American Heart Association, we launched Healthy Chicago, Healthy Hearts, a plan to convene partner organizations across the city together, outlining ways that we can move the needle on heart disease. And Healthy Chicago is working. 1 in 5 Chicago public school kindergartners start school obese versus 1 in 4 a decade ago. Tobacco use by our youth and adults at our historic all-time lows. And life expectancy is up 77.8 years in every neighborhood, outpacing the national average. Health system and community-based organizations in the private sector are collaborating through programs like Keep Your Heart Healthy, which is supported by the GE Foundation, and finding Chicagoans at risk for heart disease, screening them, connecting them to resources they desperately need and care that they desperately need. And collaborations organizations like the South Asian Cardiovascular Center and the American Heart Association and countless other partners to change the environment so that the healthy choice is the easy choice. Just 6 months ago, I met a young South Asian man in my clinic who was 37, worked 2 jobs, had a family, had extraordinary stress, with no family history of heart disease, yet rushed to the hospital because of atypical chest pain and shortness of breath, and was found to have significant blockage in his heart. The face of the South Asian cardiovascular epidemic are men and women just like him, men and women just like us, who can't get the care they need in time or are shortened by genetics and environmental factors. But the good news is that heart disease is preventable. We can make this a different community. 1 year ago, right here, I met Shoaib and was shocked by the epidemic and the stats, and felt in a city that I care deeply about, in a community that I care deeply about, we need to do something different. That we need to change the environment so that it is easier to make the healthy choice. And empower our community to change their future. Just this past week, with the South Asian Cardiovascular Center, we announced a new initiative called SAIB, or South Asian Healthy Eating Benefits. Through SAIB, CDPH and the South Asian Cardiovascular Center are working together to combat the disparity of heart disease in Chicago's growing South Asian communities. Through SAIB, we're encouraging Chicago South Asians to make healthier lifestyle choices, including eating better for their health. 4 South Asian restaurants already have made the commitment to work with us in revamping some of their top menu dishes in order to reduce sodium and trans fat. Now, this is the first time that this has been done anywhere in this country. The restaurant owners and chefs underwent hours of health and nutrition training by the SAIB team and implemented changes that also can be replicated at home. In fact, just this week when we were meeting with chefs and restaurant owners, one chef stated, reducing salt has become a habit for us now. That's pretty amazing to see. Owners and chefs are seeing small changes that are going a long way to saving lives. Using diced tomatoes in place of tomato paste is making a difference. And in just 1 month into this pilot initiative that is 6 months long, participating restaurants have reached this goal. And we're very excited to continue the work through SAIB and expand healthier menu options for restaurants all across our city. SAIB exemplifies 3 important characteristics. One, that there's extraordinary power in a simple idea. The idea that was born at the last Red Sari to help our community be empowered to change their future by changing what they provide to our community at restaurants. The courage to make healthy choices. Now, this is a very hard thing for restaurants to do, extraordinarily difficult. But they had the courage to make the right choice, to make the choice to contribute to the health of our community. And then third, the transformative nature of partnership, anchored in purpose. So we're grateful for so many different partners in our community who are stepping up to make a difference, including the Consul General of India for his endorsement and support. It's extraordinary to have that commitment. Curry Bowl, Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine, Mysore Woodlands, and Viceroy of India, who are sitting right here with us today, for their commitment to providing healthier menu options and to take the first step and be models for the rest of the city and for the rest of the nation. And of all the SAIB team, including SAC, for engaging these restaurants. So I want Sri Ramanathan to stand up. Our amazing nutritionist. We're going to give her a round of applause. She's spent countless hours with the chefs and restaurant owners to talk through the changes that need to be made and following up with them. Sonal Williams, for her, I mean, this woman has extraordinary enthusiasm. I jump off the phone when I hear her voice. Should we stand up and give her a round of applause? And the restaurant representatives out here, we'll just have them stand up and give them a round of applause. And SAC has supported this through their funds, through the lab analysis and the work. And you won't realize how difficult that is. I mean, Shoaib and I tried to send a cardboard box with ice to the lab in Des Moines, Iowa to try to get results. And you might realize what happened. It didn't ever get there. So then we had to actually research online, how do you actually package perishable food, go to Target and buy foam boxes, pack it with dry ice in all these intricate ways, put it in Ziploc bags, and send it out. I mean, this is part of our weekend. But through that, you know, the commitment that we all make to this is the extraordinary piece of this work. That no matter how difficult or how challenging it is, making Chicago healthier is a goal that we can all strive for. This is only the beginning. We have more work to do. I look forward to more partners joining Saib, and our work is to making sure that we have the healthiest hearts that beat the best. And all as we work towards a more healthy Chicago. So join us on Twitter at Chi Public Health, at SAC, and at #SaibChicago. Thank you so much.
Dr. Bott, thank you very much. To go and talk to restaurant owners and get them to change their recipes to make them healthier, that's a dangerous assignment. So congratulations, and for the nutritionists that have to back it all up with the evidence, it's incredible. And it really is an example of how the South Asian Cardiovascular Center, it really is leveraging the scale of Advocate Health Center and having that kind of credibility to be able to go after these kind of key programmatic goals. So that will hopefully change the trajectory of this scourge of South Asian heart disease. And so thanks again to all the restaurant owners who are participating and spreading the word. When I told my mother this, she was thrilled out of her mind, and that's a lady who doesn't like to change her recipes as well. So it is a call to action, and thank you very much indeed. Our final speaker is the one that you've been waiting for. He's the founder and the medical director of the South Asian Cardiovascular Center. His name is Dr. Shoaib J. Sitapalwala. He pursued his bachelor's in bioengineering from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. He went on to medical school at the University of Illinois at Chicago. And over the years, and to put it like that, I mean, he's such a young guy, but over the years, he has served as the chairman of the Midwest Aga Khan Health Board, a founding member of the Chicago Partnership Walk, which is a huge, huge event, and another audience that we need to make sure hears these messages. He currently serves on the Midwest Board of Directors for the National Lipid Association. He's board certified, he's a practicing cardiologist, and he knows how to deliver empowering messages to his clients or his patients, and he's become a great friend. So please welcome Dr. Shoaib Sitapalwala.
Good evening. Jay, I like that Bhangra step. It wouldn't be a South Asian event without that, so thank you. When we were getting ready to get seated, I asked somebody, where's my wife? And they were like, well, what is she wearing? I said, she's wearing a red sari. Okay, so first of all, can we all give Ravi Bechwal a round of applause? He's been just an amazing MC. He's been an amazing ambassador for the community and for South Asian heart disease over this last year. Thank you. To all of our dignitaries, I know we recognized you earlier, thank you so much for lending a spotlight on this issue that it desperately needs. And again, to all of you, particularly the ladies who braved the Chicago elements to come out in their red saris, thank you so much. So, what's interesting is tonight, when the doors are closed and the lights are down and people are finished with their red sari after parties, I've been told that's a new thing this year, red sari after parties. But when all that is done, there's one thing that's still going to be true, that 1 in 4 heart attacks among South Asian men occur under the age of 40. That's 29-year-olds, 30-year-olds having heart attacks. Saturday, when we're on Facebook and Twitter and hashtagging and retweeting and participating in Red Sari at home, 60% of the world's cardiovascular disease burden will be by South Asians. More than half of the heart disease cases in the world are by people that look like you and me. And Sunday, when we're getting ready for the week ahead, more women will die of heart disease than all cancers combined. And of those women, South Asian women will have a 51% greater risk of dying of heart disease. Now, what's interesting is that the first article that documented that increased risk for heart disease was published in 1983. I was 2 years old at the time. Nothing has changed, and that's the problem. And so what I'm asking you is, as leaders, as South Asians, a question you have to ask yourself is this fair? Is this something we're willing to accept? And are we going to wait another 30 years? So, I think it's in that space of frustration and hope that the South Asian Cardiovascular Center was created. We started 3 years ago with a strong commitment to community outreach, and we started that with a creation of a council of advisors that started with 7 members, is now 17 members. And this group of extraordinary individuals are community members, faith-based leaders, business leaders that meet with us at Lutheran General Hospital quarterly. And they act as ambassadors from the community to us and as ambassadors from the South Asian Cardiovascular Center to the community. And I would like those council members to stand up right now and take a bow, because the work you're doing and the way you're helping us is extraordinary. So please. Thank you. Thank you. Now, in that same vein of community outreach, we have continued to do our grassroots lectures, and to date we've lectured to over 7,500 members of the community, and we have educated over 1,500 healthcare professionals through various academic talks and CME opportunities. So it's been a lot of busy weekends for us. But about a year ago, we started the Red Sari initiative in an effort to create a campaign of collaboration. And we started that with our good friends at the American Heart Association. And Brian, I really appreciate your partnership. Together over the last year, we've dialogued, we've shared networks, and we've created a public service announcement that you see on display today. And I think that's just the beginning. I know we're going to be doing more. Shortly after the Red Sari event, I was approached by Dr. Sakthi from Loyola University, who does genetics research on a genetic mutation that he helped discover that is responsible for heart failure and heart disease. It turns out this genetic mutation is prevalent in 6% of South Asians. 6% of 1 billion people, that's a lot of people. Okay, and it gives us a deeper insight into what needs to be done. Well, after a year of working with our research institute, the Russell Institute, the South Asian Cardiovascular Center, I'm happy to announce that in the next few months we'll be launching a clinical trial at the South Asian Cardiovascular Center that will not only flesh out with Dr. Sakthi's lab how bad this prevalence is in the Chicagoland South Asian community, but we'll correlate that to clinical issues and understand how we can better treat these individuals. So for Dr. Sakthi, thank you so much. So you just heard about our partnership and collaboration from Dr. Jay Bhatt about the Chicago Department of Public Health and the Sahib program. I'll tell you, it was frustrating to pack all those food items on weekends. My wife was very patient with us, and we had to sample every item for science, of course. So, but we did get the samples processed. Thank you so much to the restaurant owners for participating in that program, for being patient with us. Thank you to Shri and Sonal for helping us out. And what's interesting is Sahib isn't over. In fact, I'm happy to announce today that we have a new partner as part of the Sahib Coalition. Patel Brothers, the largest South Asian groceries chain in the country. And the purveyor of Swad, the largest packaged food label in the country, is joining the Sahib Coalition with 2 objectives. The first will be to test out consumer education factoids that will be put in and out of all the aisles in the Chicagoland stores, and if successful, we'll spread it to all 48, 49 locations across the country. And in addition to that, we'll be, Shri, our nutritionist and our clinical team, will be working with the Patel Brothers to introduce low-sodium, low-fat alternatives under their Swad label. So this is huge, right? And then finally, another partnership that's come up in the last few months, something that we're very proud of. Another product of the Red Sari event is a new partner that we have, Walgreens, the largest retailer in the country for as a pharmacy, is joining the fight against South Asian heart disease. Together, after some high-level talks, we will be using the power of big data and creating a new set of digital health tools that will literally change the curve of South Asian heart disease. Give South Asians more tools in their pocket through smartphones and applications and online education, and opportunities to incentivize healthy behavior. Now, these last two partnerships, Walgreens and Patel Brothers, take the South Asian Cardiovascular Center scope from the 250,000 South Asians that live in Chicago and gives us the ability to impact the 3.5 to 4 million South Asians across the country. Okay, so we are trying to make change happen. So that brings us to all of you today. Now, all of you have already bought your tickets and offered a great deal of sacrifice, and we appreciate your contributions. And I will tell you, all of those dollars earned will go to good use by being directly invested right back into the community. But on the back of your name tags, there is a call to action. There are a variety of options for you to get involved. And this is how the Saheb program, the Walgreens program, all of this started. It started with somebody just flipping their name tag over and saying, check, I want to help out. I want to be part of your coalition. So take a pen, there are plenty of around, okay? Turn your name badge over, check off how you can fit in. And there's another area too. So if you have a creative idea, check it off, write it in. I promise you we'll be in touch. I promise you. I bother Jay quite a bit too. So, what I'm saying at the end of the day is, this is a bad problem, this is a huge issue, but we can do something about it. We have the opportunity, let's work together, let's work as a community. You don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a healthcare professional. We can all work together and make South Asian heart disease something of the past. Thank you.
Shoaib, that was great. In 1 year, so much progress. How about another round of applause for Shoaib? Incredible stuff. We knew that there was a special feeling in the room last year, and you get a sense that the momentum is continuing here tonight, and that's thanks to all of you supporting us and making this more of a story that everyone really needs to care about. And part of that was one of the stories I did over the last year. We are nearly at the end of our program, but we perhaps saved the best for last right here. And it's not about me at all. It is all about awareness and understanding. And so we want to conclude with a story that happened about 6 months ago, made it onto television. I don't believe I even suggested it. It came from somewhere else. So that's how widespread it was. But it was a story about a little girl, a really smart little girl, an 8-year-old girl named Krishna, and her grandfather, Virgie. Let's roll that tape.
Northwest Suburban Des Plaines, a little girl's quick thinking saved her favorite playmate, her grandfather, and it also put a spotlight on the epidemic of heart disease in the South Asian community. Eyewitness News reporter Ravi Baichwal has the story.
8-year-old Krishna Vyas delights in her grandfather's company now, less than a month after recognizing something was terribly wrong with him.
Came out of the shower and he woke me up and he said, my chest is hurting, can you please call your mom? And I called my mom, but I couldn't reach her because she was busy, so I immediately called my dad.
But channeling the steadiness of the blue-skinned Hindu god for whom she is named, Krishna knew what to do.
And I could not breathe properly. Yeah, I was shivering. And she helped me.
But you're like 8 years old. How could you be calm in that situation?
I don't know. It just made me feel calm.
That presence of mind of an 8-year-old led to Mr. Rathod being brought here to Des Plaines and Advocate Lutheran General Hospital, where they're doing groundbreaking work on the prevention of heart attacks, especially in the South Asian community. Dr. Shoaib Sitalfawala outfitted Mr. Rathod with an emergency life vest that will shock his heart should he get sick again in these first few months of recovery. But the grandfather was the third South Asian heart attack victim within 36 hours to show up at Advocate Lutheran. The others much younger, underscoring the epidemic that is heart disease in that community. The girl who lost her grandmother to stroke wants to become a neurosurgeon or a cardiologist. But more importantly, right now she wants to get back to being a kid and playing with her best friend.
He's kind of like my life too, and so it kind of means to me that I saved my own life.
In Des Plaines, Ravi Baichwal, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. I want you to know that we have submitted that for a regional Emmy Award. So there you go, because the story is so great. So please welcome, and I would like all of our speakers from this evening to come up, and our elected and diplomatic officials to come up as well as we present Krishna with the 2015 Heart Hero Award.
Take a few pictures. Why don't we come up here? You hold the award. You want to move this? Keep it up. Very good. This is Ashley. Ashley's coming from the
I used to be the mayor of this place. I'm a state rep. Congratulations. Good job. Hey, great job.
Thank you very much. We have one more last. The politicians always want the stage. There you go. Yes, they do. But they'll get the photo op as they do that. So that concludes our formal part of our evening. Apparently the after parties are going to be carrying on. I don't know if you saw earlier, the Channel 7 camera was here, so this is all going to be a part of my newscast, which starts, what time is it? Is it getting close? I mean, I got to get going. I got to get going. That's why, and I don't have this really good skin like this. It's not bad, but that's why I have all this makeup, in case you're all wondering. So, this is what you look like when you come out of Shob's clinic. You know, you feel really empowered. That's it. So, on behalf of the South Asian Cardiovascular Center and the American Heart Association, I really want to thank all of you for taking time out and joining us here today. And I'd like you to be reminded about that call to action on the back of your badge. The whole thing is about seizing the power of the moment that we had last year, the moment hopefully that we'll have a year from now. It starts with that badge. So take that badge. There will be volunteers as you exit, taking those badges, taking those calls to action. So think about it. And I know that with all the Indian men in here, there's got to be a ton of pens. So there will be a lot of pens around. Don't worry. And for those of you who are interested in expressing your support in words, our camera crew is available to record your testimonials. And use the power of social media, like we said at the beginning. Take some pictures, have some fun, show all the beautiful red saris, and put them out there on Twitter and on Facebook. Hashtag is RedSari2015 all together, and participate in that contest I told you about. Just imagine one of these Saheb restaurants are going to come to your house and make a dinner for everyone for 12 people. That will be incredible. Oh no, 15 people. So thank you everyone. Thank you for your support. I look forward to seeing you throughout the year and at 2016's Red Sari event. Good night.